First of all, thank you everyone, because it's really great opportunity to hear from all of you about the way you developed your various methodology. And well, I think it's really inspiring for us at Urbal. So Urbal is a urban-driven innovation for sustainable food systems. It's a 3 and now 4-year research project that was funded by Agropolis Foundation, Fondazione Cariplo, and the Fondation Carasso. And we are in the last year of the project. Okay, so the project originates from a will to contribute to this movement that tries to assess the impacts of initiatives or food innovations on sustainability. And we were thinking that a lot of methodology already exists, but that most of them are time and money intensive methodology that cannot be used easily by local authorities or by innovators. And we would like to contribute by designing a tool that could better inform these innovators or these local authorities in their decisions or actions. So that's why we decided to design this tool or this approach that we wanted to be really accessible, completely simple and accessible to everyone. So Urbal, it's a tool, it's an approach designed to perform a qualitative and participatory evaluation, and that aims to assess the impact of food innovations on sustainability. So this tool, and Olivier will tell you more about it in a minute, is, so the project was to build and test the methodology. So today we are in the last year of the project and we are finalizing the tool or the approach and trying to make it accessible and catchy for the potential users. This methodology is based on three elements, or maybe 4. It's based on the theory of change. That means that we wanted to focus on how the activities or the actions of a program or of an innovation can contribute to the effect or to planned effects of the innovation. And so we wanted to focus more on the process than on the results of the innovation or of the activities. And so we focused on impact pathway analysis, and that's something that we learned from the Impress program, and maybe Etienne at the end of this webinar will tell you a little bit more about it. And so we wanted to use theory of change and to use logic models to help visualizing elements and links of an intervention in order to make the causal relationships more apparent. So it's a tool based on the theory of change. It's a multi-stakeholder tool. That means that it is based on multi-stakeholder workshop, and Olivier will tell you more about it in a minute. And it's also a qualitative tool. That means that we don't intend to measure or to assess in a quantitative way the impact on sustainability. We are not using indicators. At least we can help defining indicators, but we are not using indicators. It's all about qualitatively identify the way an activity can have an impact on various dimensions of sustainability. And about sustainability, I was really interested in the way Cozy Food, you designed a referential for sustainability. And our referential is way much less sophisticated, but we wanted to, when talking about the impact on sustainability, we mean impact on 6 dimensions of sustainability: environment, economic and social cultural, of course, but also nutrition and health, food security and governance. And so we want to design a holistic tool that helps to imagine the way the innovations can have an impact, not only on 1 or 2 dimensions, but the 6 dimensions of sustainability when we refer to sustainable food systems. really quickly, we tested this methodology on 15 case studies in 10 cities all over the world. And that's one of the special feature of this methodology. Maybe we tried to test the method on very, very diverse case studies, including case studies in the Global South. Olivier, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Elodie. Hi, everyone. So the Urbal methodology is divided into 3 main steps. The first one is dedicated to building the object of Urbal. We identify the main innovative activities of the innovation, and also we can choose some of them because sometimes there are too many activities and we cannot study all of them during the Urbal process. So what is an innovative activity? It's an activity that makes a difference from what is done elsewhere or what was done before in the past by the innovation or the organization that is studied. So it is based on interviews and the analysis of documents. Then the second step is a participatory workshop. We aim in this workshop to draw the main impact pathways of the activities that have been identified as innovative. And we gather innovators, stakeholders, users, beneficiaries, economic partners, supports, allies, or friend innovations, and also researchers. So it aims at producing a knowledge on the impact pathways that is socially relevant because of this diversity of actors. And then there is a step that is a step of analyzing the results of this workshop. And the third step is a step that is dedicated to present the result of the workshop. And it can be more or less widely open. It can be used only as an internal tool to inform the governance of the innovation, or also it can be used to promote the innovation to actors such as funders, policymakers, and so on. And it's also a step that is dedicated to formalize the experience of the innovation. Next slide, please. So what are the impact pathways? It's basically the answer to the question, how do we go from the activities to long-term changes? Next slide, please. Elodie. So we want to answer the question not only what does it change, but almost how does it change, sorry. So we identify direct effects or changes, and then a chain of causality, intermediary effect or changes, and finally impacts or long-term effects or changes that can be social, about health, environment, economy, food security, governance, all the spectrum of dimension of sustainability. And between the different steps of the changes, there are conditions of success or obstacles or breaks or barriers. Next slide, please. And it's to show the way we can also identify positive changes and finally impacts, and others that are more negative, and some of them that are we don't know because we don't have yet all the knowledge about whether they are positive or negative, or it depends on the way we look at them. Is it from the environmental point of view or economical and so on? Next slide. So it's just to show you pictures of workshops. And then Elodie can go next. It's the way we try to represent today the impact pathways. And we are working on the graphic design in order to formalize the method and also the results with the main purpose of the dissemination of the result in order to scaling out, deep, up, and also to share the experience with other innovations. Up to you, Elodie.
Thank you, Olivier. Just in a nutshell, 2 more slides to conclude this presentation. Main results and are threefold. Yes, we have a method or an approach that we want to be a flexible, low-cost, context-adaptable, and open-source tool. And I think this is, and Share City was pretty much saying the same thing. We wanted to design a really simple and accessible tool that could be used by any innovators, practitioner, or local authorities that doesn't have necessarily the time or the money to engage in more time and money intensive methodologies. I'm not getting into that deeper. I can answer your questions later. 2 more things to say. One question I have seen on the question and answers chat box is asking why we are not working with indicators. Why did we choose not to work with indicators? There are 2 answers. First of all, we had enough on our plate, 15 case studies and 10 cities. That was a lot of work, but more precisely, and as I just said, we wanted to design a very simple and accessible methodology. And we know that in most cases, and in particular in the Global South, it's really difficult to gather, to collect data and to process data. And we wanted to design something that could be collaborative and participatory, and a very simple tool that can be used very easily to reflect on their actions. And that's, I think that it is what we did with Urbal. And a last thing, and Alison was talking about that in the introduction, and it is not that far from what I just said. At the beginning, we designed Urbal as an evaluation tool, and what we found out during the project is that it can be really interesting to use it as a monitoring and evaluation tool, and like to organize several workshops now and then in order to get this reflection, to this reflexive way on the action of the innovation and on the strategy. I forgot to say something about indicators. We are working with indicators on some cases, because I think that, and this is a map we designed for the school canteens program in Montpellier in France, the impact pathway map. And it was interesting because the school canteens program wanted to get indicators in order to have a more quantitative assessment. And the Urbal map helped them identifying the relevant indicators that could be very interesting to use in this quantitative assessment. So Urbal can be used as a evaluation tool before a quantitative evaluation. And I think that's it for me. Thank you.